Hello again. We're back for another Vinyasa flow. My name is Lisa, and we'll be doing a twisting kind of themed class today. So make sure you have some blocks available to make a pose more comfortable for you. And for today's class, we're going to just start upright. Let's get into it. We're going to move into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Soles of the feet are together, knees are out at your sides. I like to kind of push up and then release my hips down to help kind of tilt my hips forward and get a taller, more lifted spine and a more open heart. So as you're here, we're just breathing through the nose. We're closing our mouth, starting to regulate our breath. Feel free to close your eyes as you're here, noticing the breath. Trying to expand the inhales, lengthen the exhales. Let this class today work for you at whatever level you are, whatever is going on in your body. Being mindful of the sensations in your body as we move into some of these twists. As always, feel free to modify to make a pose a little bit easier or to make a pose a little more challenging. As you're here, if you'd like, you can hinge forward and go a little bit deeper in this stretch. And if it doesn't feel good, I would suggest just staying upright. So here's your first choice to ease off or to go into more of a challenge. Let yourself find joy in some of these poses, regardless of, as I said, where you are at today. Try to find happiness with where you are, having fun with moving into the poses. All right, slowly rise back up. From here, extend your legs straight out in front of you and shake them out a little bit. Roll the ankles. I'm going to once again sit up real tall. And then from here, once again, from the hip crease, fingers are pointed back and away from you to push into the earth and lift the spine taller and keep the shoulders and the heart open. Exhale, extend forward. So this is kind of like a beginning opening for the hamstrings. This forward fold is called Paschimottanasana in Sanskrit. And we're just starting to kind of place a stretch by this hinge in our hamstrings. So we're going forward to whatever degree you can comfortably go, but with a more flat back, okay? Let the breath move in and out smoothly. And I want to invite you to, once again, stay here for the duration of this stretch, especially if your back is feeling really tight or sore. If you want to kind of go a little bit deeper, we're kind of taking the stretch out of the hamstrings and now rolling it more into the back as we descend forward and down. If this doesn't feel good to you in any way, come back up and keep the chest open and the back flat. All right, so from wherever you were, slowly roll upright and go ahead, cross your legs, sitting comfortably. Once again, tall, lifted spine. Let's start to warm up the neck. In fact, we're going to begin our twist today at the neck level. So just exhale down, inhale up. We're going to be doing a little bit more of this kind of repetitive movement with some of our poses today too, before we sink in and hold some of the poses. Okay, take your chin back to level. Inhale. And then exhale, turning your head to your right. This is your first spinal twist. Inhale forward, exhale right. left. Inhale forward, exhale right. Inhale forward, exhale left. Bring your head back to center. From here, roll the shoulders back, and then roll the shoulders a little bit forward. Good. Inhale up with the left arm, palm is towards your head. Exhale, lean over to the right. You can reach out with the hand. Try and keep this raised arm pulled back more in line with your ear rather than in front of your face. If you want to go deeper, you can lean down in onto the forearm, but try not to let the hips rise up on this left side. So if this is too deep, go back to just hand on the mat. All right, releasing back, inhale up with the right arm, palm is towards your head. Exhale and lean over to your left. Breathing, drawing the arm back, going deeper by leaning down on the forearm if that's comfortable. If it's not, stay more upright. Slowly come back up. Elevate the spine again. Chin is neutral. And then as you move into your next exhale, twist to your right. So now we're going into a fuller spinal twist, but still letting it be a little bit more comfortable. Shoulders draw down. Your gaze extends out beyond the right shoulder. You're not leaning back, but rather taking this right hand, pushing it directly behind your hips as you're in the twist to keep a taller, straighter spine. So we twist more safely. When we move into all of our twists today, we want to try and do it with a straighter spine. Come back to center, releasing from that twist. Take a nice full inhale again. Exhale, twisting into your left side. Still trying to keep the chest open, shoulders drawn down and back. Slowly make your way back to center. All right, from here, let's go ahead and move on to all fours. Move my blocks aside just for a couple of cat-cows. So relax and release the belly, draw those shoulders back. As you take a nice full inhale through your nose, you're scooping forward and up, broadening the collarbones, turning the tailbone up higher. Exhale, round, pull the belly up an inch into your chest. Inhale to your cow. And then exhale to your cat. One more time, inhale, cow. Exhale to a cat. Okay, from here, you're going to release your forearms and your hands, palms are down, onto the mat. Try and position your elbows so they're about shoulder distance apart and really kind of push the fingers into the mat. Extend back. We're moving into a forearm plank. So feet are hip distance apart. And as you set up into this, you're naturally going to probably raise your bottom up. I want you to shift the shoulders over the elbows, draw the hips down in line with the back and the legs. Belly's drawn in, and then try and roll those shoulders back. Your gaze is going at your thumbs in front of you and you're breathing. If you want to challenge yourself more, you can raise up one foot and then lower. Raise up the other foot and then lower. Try not to let the hips lift up with the leg. We want to keep the hips still and in alignment. All right, slowly lower the belly down to the mat. Point out the toes. You're positioned in Sphinx pose. So make a couple of adjustments. Kind of push the elbows into the mat. Open the chest more. Lift the head and neck. Draw the shoulders back. Once again, the gaze can go forward or down towards your hands. Engage the belly. Will help make a little more space for the lower back. From here, we're going to go a little deeper into seal pose. We're just lengthening our arms straighter from where we were in our Sphinx. Our fingertips are kind of staying exactly where they were. If this is uncomfortable, feel free to stay into your Sphinx. As you're here, once again, try to keep the chest more open. Try to soften the butt a little bit, but keep the belly slightly engaged, just to help release the lower back. All right, release down. Draw your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your elbows in at your sides. Point the elbows down. Inhale to Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale to Cobra again. Exhale down. From here, inhale once again to Cobra, or you scoot under your toes, push forward and up onto straight arms, stacking your wrists above or beneath the shoulders, engaging the thighs, floating, pointing the toes. You're in warrior, or you're in upward facing dog. We are going to go into a warrior in a little bit later. All right, breathing, opening the chest, curl under your toes, and pedal the feet. You're now moving into down dog, letting your head release, using your arms to push back and up with the hips and the tailbone. When you're ready, settle into your down dog. Separate the feet a little wider towards the edges of your mat. It may make it a little bit easier to open up the chest and push the hips back. If you want to, go ahead and kind of move a little deeper. You can take your left hand and grab your right calf or ankle. You're in a three-legged dog. Feeling the stretch. Then take the left hand back. Right hand goes to the left ankle or calf. Breathing. Right hand comes back. Push back one more time. Take the feet back in closer together. Breathing in through the nose, a full inhale. Opening the mouth, exhaling out. Opening a little more for the heart. Then walk your feet forward to the top of your mat into forward fold Uttanasana. Let the top of your head point down towards the mat. Shift your weight a little bit more forward to the front of your feet. Put a lot of bend in your knees, but look back at the knees. Make sure the kneecaps are going forward in the same direction as the second and third toes. If the knees are turning inwards towards each other, slightly lift the arches of your feet. Take your two fingers, hook them around your big toes, and
and maybe pull down a little bit more, shifting the weight forward. Release your fingers from your toes. Once again, shifting forward. Let the heels feel light. Inhale, rise up halfway to Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Belly is drawn in, back is flat. Fingertips are either grazing the ground or the shins. Open the chest more. Extend the head and the neck forward. You're looking at the floor just beneath you. Feel free to put bend in the knees as you're in this Ardha Uttanasana. From here, slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. Let the head come upright. And then you're going to reach up with your arms, bringing them together above your head and exhaling them in at your heart. All right, inhale up. Exhale in. Inhale up. Exhale in. You should be more towards the top of your mat. Let's go ahead and inhale up. And from here, exhale, forward fold to Uttanasana. Weight moves into the front of your feet. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale down. Inhale, step back into a plank. Shifting your weight forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, Chaturanga. Chin is in a neutral position. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Good. Taking another breath. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look between your hands. Fully exhale and then lightly hop your feet between your hands into your Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise, reach up. Extend and find length. Exhale, hands come together at your heart. Once again, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, down. Inhale, step back to plank. You can always do a jump back to your Chaturanga if you'd like. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, the right leg up. Roll the ankle around. Exhale, step that right foot forward and through to the top of your mat so that you're in a runner's lunge. You may want to place your block underneath your left hand to make this pose more comfortable. We're going for a 90-degree bend in the knee if you can on this right side, but you're still keeping that knee stacked above the ankle. Extend back strong and straight with that left leg. Slightly guide the right hip back. All right, from here, as I said, a little bit of movement. So let's just kind of hinge forward and back. And then take your right hand, you're reaching down off over to your left. And then inhaling, rising up, or exhaling, rising up. Inhale, come down and up. Down and up. One more time, and let's hold with the arm up and breathing. Swing the arm back by your hip.
Roll it forward and up. Just opening up for the shoulders a little bit more. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. One more time. Exhale down. Inhale up. The palm turns away from you as the arm is raised up. Release your right hand down. Release the left knee down, pointing out the left toes. Let's do a little bit of backward and forth in this pose. And then as we come forward, let's incorporate the hands. So arms go up as you come forward. Arms go down as you go back. One more time, up and down, and then we're going to hold forward in Anjaneyasana. Breathing. And as you breathe, use your exhales to help release that left hip forward and down. Hands come back down. Step back into your runner's lunge and then your plank once again. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Okay, taking a moment, maybe pedaling the feet and then sinking into your down dog. All right, from here, inhale your left leg up. Exhale, step it through to the top of your mat into a runner's lunge. All right, from this runner's lunge, once again, a little bit of movement forward and back. And then moving into more stillness, maybe placing your block underneath your right hand, noticing the left knee, getting the left knee positioned above the ankle, and the middle of the kneecap is in line with your second and third toes. Extend that right leg back, strong and straight, and then start to guide that left hip slightly back. From here, left arm goes under, reaches off to the right, and then draws up and twisting to the left. Coming down and up. Down and up. One more time. Down and then holding up. Breathing. From here, on your next exhale, start to guide the left arm back, down. Inhale it forward and up. Exhale back and down. Inhale forward and up. One more time. Exhaling down. Inhaling forward and up. Release the left hand down. Release the right knee down and point out the right toes. Once again, let's just do a little bit of movement forward and back, kind of hinging forward and back, helping to open up the hips. Try to keep both of your hips squared off as you do this. And let's add some arm movement into this, forward and up with the arms, back and down. Forward and up, back and down. One more time, forward and up, back and down. This time staying forward with the hips and up with the arms. Breathing. And now let the arms go back to the floor. Move into your runner's lunge, then your plank,
and then your chaturanga. Always feel free to do a knee chaturanga if you like. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Taking another inhale, and then at the end of your next exhale, lightly hop or walk your feet to Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Is the spine extended forward, or is your weight being kind of propelled forward more into the front of your feet? Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, rise and reach up. Hands come together. And exhale in your heart, namaste. All right, here we go. We're going to move into some bigger moves. Here we go. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale down. Step back into your plank or jump back to chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. If you have any kind of issues with any part of the body and you need to skip a portion of this, go ahead and just meet us in our next pose. All right, from your down dog, inhale your right leg up. Exhale, step it forward and through to the top of your mat. Keeping your hips squared off. The left toes are pointed forward. The left heel floats. We're going to rise into crescent pose. So from here, a little bit of movement up and down. So we're kind of doing a vertical movement up and down rather than front to back, up and down like a lunge. And then on your next one, sink down and hold here. Release your hands down at your sides. Good. From here, you're going to straighten the legs, step your left foot forward. I'm going to step back just so I'm not in at my couch too close. I'm having about a 2-foot distance between my front heel and my back toes. Spread your feet apart slightly so you feel steady and balanced. Hips are squared. From here, you're opening the chest and hinging forward. This is where you may want to have your blocks and place them underneath your shoulders. So we're going to do a little bit of movement back and forth. Try and do this with the flatter back. You can lift that back heel off the ground. You can lift the front toes off the ground. And now let's fully settle in to our pyramid pose. So both feet stay fully flat on the ground. You're extending your spine, the neck and the head forward. And as you're here and breathing, you're drawing that right hip back a little more to square off. Feel the two sides of your waist. Do they seem like they're the same length? If the right side of your waist feels tightened or shortened, draw the right hip back more. If you have more opening, you can always lower down. If you don't need to use the blocks at all, you don't have to. Hands can come to the floor, but I want you to try to not over round and overreach with the shoulders or lift that left heel off the mat. We want to be positioned down and back flatter, chest more open. So it may be better to rest your hands on your block. From here, we're going to move into half moon. Once again, hand can rest on the block or the mat. You can shift your weight forward more fully into that right leg. Raise up the left leg to hip level. Raise up the left arm. Open up to the side of the room, pulling the left shoulder back, pulling the left hip back. Gaze goes out to the side or up to the raised left hand. Know that if you're on really kind of thick carpet, this will be a little harder. All right, from here, slowly lower your left hand back down to the mat or to the block. Shift so that the left toes now are pointed down to the mat, but re-raise the left leg up high to hip level. Body weight goes into your left hand. Exhale, twist to the right with the right arm. If this is uncomfortable, right hand can go on the waist. See if you can draw the right hip back and re-raise that left leg. If looking to the side's uncomfortable, if you have a neck issue, maybe you're looking back at the floor, but trying to keep both sides of the hips in alignment. See if you can find your joy and your happiness in this pose. It's a difficult one. Lower your right hand down. Put some bend into your right knee. Keep the chest open. Left leg is lifted. Hands go to your heart in namaste. So this is your warrior 3 with namaste hands. Opening the chest and the heart. Gaze is at the floor beneath you. From here, hands go to the mat. Take a step back with the left leg. Move your blocks aside. Make your way into a plank, shifting over the wrists. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And from here, exhale right into a child's pose. Knees come apart, big toes together. Forehead to the mat. This is an opportunity to help take the breath and the heart rate down, to bring your spine back into alignment from the twist. If it feels better, you can always reach your hands back towards your heels. All right, slowly start to push up. Hands go back towards the top of your mat. Knees come underneath you. Push into your down dog, pedaling the feet. And then sinking into your dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, pull that knee forward and through so the foot goes to the top of your mat. Draw this left hip back to square off. Engage around the belly. Inhale, crescent pose. Let's do a little bit of movement up and down. You're keeping the right heel floated off the mat. The right toes are aiming forward. And now let's sink deeper and hold into your crescent. Let your hands slowly come down to your sides. Lift up, straighten the legs, step your back foot forward so you have about 2 foot distance between the feet, and maybe spread your feet a little bit wider apart so that you feel stable in this pose so that you can square off your hips.
right, open the chest. Exhale, hinge. And then lower the hands down on the blocks. Start with the blocks up high. If the blocks even feel too deep, maybe you're just staying more upright and doing a little bit of movement back and forth with the feet. So feel free to go heel to toe. And then let's fully move into our pyramid. You're taking both feet down to the mat. Draw the left hip back more. Flatten the back and open your chest. All right, from here, look about 12 to 15 inches in front of your left baby toe. Maybe your hand comes to the block or to the mat, your choice. And you're going to shift your weight fully into your left leg. Raise the right leg up to hip level. Turn the right toes out to the side. Open the chest. Raise the right arm. Breathing. Draw the right shoulder back. Pull the right hip back, stacking it over the left. Take your gaze out to the side and or carefully up to the sky to express your Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Are you breathing? Slowly lower the gaze in the right hand, placing them maybe on your block. Lower those right toes to point downwards towards your mat. Draw your left hip back. Re-raise that right leg up strong. The right hand is positioned pretty much underneath the right shoulder. Re-raise that right leg. Exhale, twist off to your left. The arm can also go on the waist. You're kicking that right leg back strong and straight. This is your revolved half moon. Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. Breathing. Slowly lower the hand. Start to bend your left knee. Open the chest, raise that right leg up again. Slowly bring your hands at your heart in Namaste. Find length with the neck and the head coming forward. The spine is flat, the back is flat, chest is open, and you're breathing. Slowly release the hands down, step back into your runner's lunge, your plank, and your last chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Take in another breath. Open your mouth, exhale out. Release once again in a child's pose. Finding quiet and stillness, feeling the heart rate as it slows down, letting the breath also slowly come down too. All right, from here, rise back up.
Bring your knees back underneath your hips. Move into your down dog. Taking another breath. And then as you exhale, hop or walk your feet to Uttanasana. Head points downward. Weights in the front of your feet. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, release down. Inhale, rise and reach up.
Hands come together. And then exhale in at your heart. Okay, from here we're going to make our way back down onto our mats. And I'd like for you to go ahead and grab your block. If you feel more comfortable in our block assisted bridge, you can also wedge 2 blocks together just to create more surface area for you, okay? So we're going to be just kind of releasing the legs from all that work. We're also going to work on opening up our hip flexors because in that sequence we are very forward folded. So when we use our block, we want to place our block against our sacrum. That's the fused portion of your spine. It's a little bit lower down. So we have this triangle here. We want to avoid having the block up into our waist. It's really uncomfortable and not so good for the low back. So we want to place it a little bit lower down. We're just going to start by setting up into a bridge pose. So first thing to do with your block is place it between your knees. Okay, try to position your feet so they feel as though they're beneath the knees. Okay, then you're going to pull that block away. Try and keep your knees in that position. Draw the belly button down so you're firming up the abdomen. Push into the mat with feet and just lift into an easy bridge. Release the shoulders down and away from the neck. Slide the block underneath you. You can start with the block at whatever level best suits you. And then just release on the block. Okay. Try to roll the backs of your shoulders down and together in the mat to help create even greater openness for the upper chest. So as we're in this pose, or these next 2 poses, I want you to feel free to raise or lower the block to whatever level best suits you. Okay? So engage the belly once again to help make space for the low back. We're going to extend our legs straight out on the mat. Try to avoid letting the feet go out to the edges of the mat. We want to keep our feet about hip distance apart. If this pose is uncomfortable in any way for the hip flexors or the lower back, you can do a couple of things. You can try and engage the belly more. You can also lower the block a level. Or if neither of those options work, maybe you're putting just a touch of bend back into the knees. Okay? Okay, breathe and release. Try and keep the chin slightly pulled away from your chest. Gently start to pull the feet back in closer. You need to reposition on the block. From here, you'll grab the edges of your mat with your straight arms. Lift each leg up to the sky to float. We're releasing in this inversion. Our head is below our heart. And our feet, of
of course, are above our head. If the legs start to feel numb or tingly, roll the ankles, wiggle the toes. You can also go into a milder inversion by going to the lowest level, if that's comfortable, or a much deeper inversion by taking your block up to its highest level and raising the legs. So we're helping to kind of release fluids that have accumulated in the lower legs that can kind of add to feelings of stiffness or tightness. We're also letting not just blood flow help to be recirculated back to the heart, but we're also releasing lymph fluid as it flows with gravity to be recirculated also. From here, if you'd like to get a bigger stretch for the inner thighs, you can open your legs out to each side. If this is uncomfortable, you can also try another version where you're in a lying version of Baddha Konasana. The knees are still out to the sides, but the feet come together. It's not so kind of extreme for the inner thighs. And if neither of those feel comfortable, just stay with the toes pointed up towards the ceiling. Once again, take notice of the chin. Make sure there's some space between the chin and the chest. Your gaze should be going up towards the ceiling more. Feel free to close your eyes if you'd like. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you have some space between the teeth so the jaw can release also. If the legs were apart, slowly guide them back up. And then from here, release each foot back down to the mat into your bridge. Wait for the blood to flow fully back into the feet. And then when you're ready, you're lifting up off of the block and sliding it away, coming down to a flat back. From here, if it feels good, you can sway the knees a little bit left and right. I'm going to move into our spinal twist, our hip opener, which is our thread the needle. Right ankle goes on top of your left thigh. Flex the right toes, push the right knee out and away. If you're feeling the pull in the right hip, I would just stay here. If you don't really feel anything, one modification to go a little deeper is to rest your left foot on your block. If you still don't feel anything in that right hip, you can go deeper by threading your hands behind the back of that left thigh. Head and shoulders make their way back to the mat, and then you can pull that left thigh in till you start to feel a deeper stretch in the right hip. But make sure it's a stretch that you can breathe through, that feels slowly releasing rather than painful or sharp. If you'd like, you can do a little bit of movement here. You can raise the left leg up straight. You'll notice the sensation kind of leaves the right hip, and then bend and bring it down. The sensation comes back to the right hip. So you can do a little bit of movement up and down if it feels good. And then sink into the position more deeply by keeping the foot down. Gently let go of your bind take the right ankle off. If it feels best, stay still, let the two sides of the hip come back into alignment. Or once again, you can do a little bit of windshield wipering with your knees. Then let's move to our other side. We're going to pick up our left foot, place this left ankle bone on top of your right thigh. Push the left knee away, flexing the left toes. If you want to go deeper, the right foot can rest on your block, or you can thread your hands through the back of the right thigh. Head and shoulders make their way back to the mat though, and then if you can still go deeper, you're just pulling that thigh in towards you. Once you're set up in the pose, establish your breath again. And we can do a little bit of movement if you'd like by straightening the right leg and then bending the knee. Straighten and bend. Straighten, bend. And then we're going to do it one more time and hold with the knee bent, maybe drawing the leg in a little closer just to go deeper. Release slowly out of the pose. And either stay still once again or rock the knees side to side. From here, you'll lengthen the legs out in front of you, reach your arms behind your head, put some arch in your back, feeling length. And then as you next exhale, slowly release. Let the legs go out to the edges of your mat. Your arms come out at your sides, palms are turned up, but let the arms be pulled away from you, or if you prefer, hands on your belly. Feel free to get up and grab any props that you would like to place under your knees, under your head or neck. A blanket to warm you up or something to cover the eyes. And then begin to settle the limbs into your Shavasana. Let the limbs go heavy and still. Let the head find a comfortable position where the back of the head is being supported by the earth, and then move into more stillness here. Soften the forehead. The eyes are closed and they release. The eyelids and the skin beneath the eyes become softer. The mouth has a little bit of space between the teeth. The breath slows down and the thoughts of the mind start to slow down also. Move into this place of quiet comfort for these next several minutes.
gently push up into a comfortable seated position, drawing your hands together at your heart, chin down and eyes closed. My verse today comes from Gandhi. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Thank you for sharing today's Vinyasa flow. As always, the divine in me bows to the divine in you. Namaste. All right, thank you everybody. We will see you next time. Till then, be well. Take care.